the nation's sports fans buzzing like a Van de Graaff generator. Early breakfast with Shabana Hearn. Weekday mornings from 5 on talkSPORT with Adrian Flux Van Insurance. Insurance for the individual. Search Adrian Flux Van Insurance to find out more.
The 2025 PDC Darts World Championship.
Live on talkSPORT 2.
You're listening to coverage of the PDC World Darts Championship on talkSPORT 2 with Village Hotels. Dine out, stay, work out and play this festive season at one of 33 cracking UK locations. Brilliant performance from Cullen, his first ever win against Martin Schindler to get through to round 3 with an average of 91.05 on the night. Not great on the doubles, but he was significantly better than his opponent. Now, earlier this afternoon, Joe Cullen won his match against Vessel Nyman, and you can see the full interview on the talkSPORT Darts YouTube channel, which is building its subscribers more and more. Lots of great stuff on there, interviews with the great and the good, and live watch-alongs of every game at these championships. Joe Cullen gave very short, perfunctory interviews to TV and the written press, but he gave a good 5-6 minutes to talkSPORT 2, which you watch in full. Here's a brief excerpt of what Joe had to say about the way he's been treated.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. They call the stuff beforehand, you know, that he's favourite and whatever else. I think it was just the best thing that could have happened to me personally, because he's not as good a player as I am, and he was, I think some bookies had him 2-5. Horrific.
It seems disrespectful towards you.
100% it's disrespectful. But this is, by the way, just before anything else, this is nothing. This is not a reflection on Vessel. You know, he seems a top kid, but he can't control what other people say and do. But yeah, do you know what? Honestly, the way that he's been talked about with out of his control has been sort of detriment to this, because maybe I wouldn't play like that, but honestly, I can't remember last time I was this up for a game.
Well, you can take it as motivation sometimes, can't you, as a sportsman, to take it into a situation like that where you feel a little bit marginalised. And certainly when you hit the winning dart, it looks like you wanted to blow up.
Yeah, I just thought to myself, you know, I've kept it sort of reined in the majority of the game. You know, there's a couple of outbursts, but I just thought, you know, don't do something that you've not done the whole game. Show a bit of respect to Wessel as well, because, like as I said at the start of this interview, you know, nothing away from the dartboard has been on him. But yeah, I was just so up for the game.
You can see the full interview between myself and Joe Cullen on the talkSPORT Darts YouTube channel. Like and subscribe, and take a look at all the content we've got on there. Chris Mason, your reaction to that little snippet you heard there of Joe? Does he have a point, or is he going a little too far? Is he a little too paranoid?
Yeah, I think he's a little spiky, but the game's played on a board surrounded by numbers, and they don't lie. And in the last 6 months, he's been off the pace where Vessel Nyman's been on the pace. Vessel Nyman went to the Grand Slam, had 105 average, 106 average, 111 average, didn't win a game, but that sort of tells you where his game is. And we have a look on the other hand of where Joe's game's been, and it's not been in a good place, and most of the time he's the first to admit it. I just think it was the fact that he was completely written off beforehand by the vast majority, but that we all did that because we felt Vessel Nyman is playing better than Joe right now, and they're just the facts. It's nothing personal, but I couldn't be more pleased to see Joe go up there and produce the darts that made him a major winner.
He was so focused up there. Actually, so was Cullen, in fairness to him. Great game between him and Schindler. Their treble hitting, their heavy scoring was a delight to see. It was just on the outer ring where they both struggled, wasn't it, Mace?
Yeah, I mean, we were in our green room watching it, and I sometimes like to watch a match and try and not look at the numbers, and then I come in here and I look on the fruit machine, which is basically a monitor with all the stats on that we could need, and I was quite surprised to see it only at 91, because the scoring power in that game looked fabulous, especially for Cullen Ridge. But as it turned out, it was only 9 140s, but that was 5 more than Schindler, 3 180s, which was 1 fewer than Schindler. But Schindler, well, 28 darts at a double and only hit 3.
So Cullen Ridge goes through. He averaged just over 90 in that game. So well played to the Riot. And now, the man from the Philippines who knocked out Jim Williams of Wales in the first round. He only averaged 86, but he was decent on his doubles, 36% hit for Paolo Nebrida. Now, this music's great, you know, but whenever I hear the name Paolo Nebrida, I think of I Know Corrida by Quincy Jones, the old disco hit from the 70s. He should walk out to that. Members of his family there, there's a flag of the Philippines that he's just planted a kiss on. And Nebrida now arrives on the stage.
Yeah, you mentioned the 86 average, which was enough to beat Jim Williams, and his seasonal average is 86, so he's playing to type. His opponent, though, in Ross Smith, is averaging 10 more, 96 for the season, so he's going to have to find something.
So Nebrida gets to his table on the stage, takes a little sip of water, and we await the arrival of the man from Deal. This is a guy who can punish his opponents into submission with his heavy 180 scoring.
He just grinds you with the big, like you say, the big 180 score in it, and it just gets to you in the end. You just feel like, is there any chance you could hit a 140?
Tall, with a full face beard.
Very much like Luke Humphries, he sort of went away and reinvented himself and takes care of himself, watches what he eats at the right time, understands nutrition and energy within that nutrition for playing long matches. A bit more science to the game now than 20 Benson and edges and 8 points back in the good old days.
They're not the Nollywood news sketch, but the one.
Oh, it's coming out.
The one slight fly in the ointment I found with Ross Smith is that sometimes he expends a lot of energy celebrating, breaking the throw or winning a tight leg, and sometimes that can affect him later on in games. Yeah,
well, there's a couple of things that he does. He's too measured too early, and he's a player a bit like Damon Heta, very similar actually, that in the start of matches they're trying to be too accurate, so they can't really express themselves within themselves because there's just too much going on. And I've said to Ross on a few times, just pick the tempo up early and get into a nice rhythm. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself sort of a set down and a leg down before you blink.
So, Paolo Nebrida of the Philippines has the darts, and he gets us underway in this second round encounter. It's the first of 3 sets that qualifies for the next round, and the winner plays the winner, I think I'm right in saying, of the next match on the Oki, Gary Anderson and Jeffrey de Graaf. So
smelly draw, that.
the next two in the practice room right now will be keeping more than half an eye on this as they warm up for their encounter.
Have a loose start there, and Paolo. Single one, small 20, can dink it over the top, and does, 81. Leg one, set one. 3-2-3, Nebrida. Smith, 4-4-2 minus these, and he's found the small one. He's catching.
Well, he kept to his seasonal average by defeating Jim Williams in round one. He qualified third on the Asian Order of Merit on the Asian Tour. Much the smaller man of the two on stage, with a dark navy blue dart shirt.
Nice throw though, everything straight down the middle. Sights the dart almost, well, literally by sort of through his nose.
Yeah, bridge of the nose, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Interesting style, but effective.
Ross Smith also a relatively orthodox approach to his throw. Only 60 there. So Nebrida's got a good advantage in this first leg. Nebrida 2-2-3, 3-0-1 Smith. Smith the 19th seed at these championships.
This is a bit of an Achilles heel for Ross, as I was saying. He just tries to be too deliberate in the early stages and doesn't get any kind of momentum or rhythm.
Saying you try and play too hard, just play.
Yeah, exactly, just express
try.
yourself and flow and let it come. Because this is more like it. There's a bit more tempo to it already, and scores a ton. Because he wouldn't practice, he's not in the practice room playing like that.
Well, that's it. Nebrida 138 to win the first leg with the darts. Only hit single 19, so 119 left. You'll stay down there. 100 left, so treble 20 would leave tops. Moves along the oche just to the right.
Yeah, that's the thinking behind that route. Well, obviously they want to go 57, double 12, but they will stay there whether the treble's in first start or not, because of that very reason. If you hit the treble 19, then it's treble 10 switch on 62 to leave 32, or treble 20 for tops.
15 darts, and Smith's only now down to a finish of 141. 80 for the first leg for the man from the Philippines. Treble 20 hit, 2 darts in his hand at double 10 to take an early advantage here, Paolo Nebrida. There it is. 17 dart hold, and Nebrida has something on the board.
Tidy enough, wasn't it?
Yeah, very tidy. So Ross Smith, who is 35 years of age, he'll be 36 next month. Been with the PDC. Well, he's had several spells, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
And he last came back in 2018, and he's worked his way back into the world's top 32. I'm sure he'd love to be in the top 16. He's only on the fringes of that.
When he won that Europeans, you sort of thought, right, this kid's ready to go now. This is more like it. 2 treble 20s, and there's one of those maxes.
And up go the cards.
Be one of many.
Yes, well, you would think so. Up go the cards in the crowd. He's never got past the last 32 here. He's got to that stage in the last 3 World Championships, Ross Smith, but just can't seem to convert it into a quarter-final.
Certainly due.
He is definitely due. The European Championship win in 2022 was a lovely moment for him. It didn't come completely out of left field, but
no. We were talking about him the same way we were talking about Michael Smith. It's not if, it's when. Of course, Michael Smith went on to win the Slam and then go on to win the Worlds and then win in Bahrain. And
we had him at the match play. He reached the quarters of the match play when we were in Blackpool back in July with talkSPORT 2. Smith on 217 after 9 darts, and he's looking for another maximum. No, he's going to come downstairs. Rightly so.
Yeah, the treble 19 would have left him top, so he's down to 78. Nebrida, leg 2, set 1, back on 275.
Not only are we live on talkSPORT 2, but we are on the talkSPORT Darts YouTube channel. Myself and Mace in vision, watch-alongs.
Nice.
Of all the games, and you get interviews like that interview with Joe Cullen and many others. In full.
And our podcasts, of course.
Yes, Aces and Arrows, we will be recording that tomorrow as Ross Smith pins double 12 for a 78 checkout.
14 dart hold.
So he's warming up now, is Smudger.
It's getting into the zone.
Nebrida just ground his way to victory against Jim Williams. Jim not quite on his game, and his average was way down on normal. But Nebrida, with these darts that land flat, makes it work for a Phil Taylor style 180.
Exactly.
Lovely
that.
start to the leg.
Taylor-esque.
So he's matched his 180 total for the tournament because he got one against Jim Williams, and he's on a 9-darter, which we saw missed narrowly on the 9th dart by Martin Schindler in the last game.
Then lost the leg. And ultimately, that, for me, that the early exchanges is why he went on to lose the match, because he wins that first set. We may have seen Callum Rid slightly on the back foot.
Remember, if anybody gets a 9-darter here, £60,000 is donated by the title sponsor to Prostate Cancer UK. Also, the player concerned gets £60,000, and a random member of the audience gets £60,000.
Like Chris from Sutton the other night when Christian Kist hit the 9. He didn't actually know there was any prize money for that.
No.
May not have hit it if you know.
And members of the talkSPORT Drive team are in the building tonight, and I have
not sure they'd be eligible.
Well, they are. That's why I have grave concerns that one of them could net £60,000 if somebody hits a 9-darter. If it's Goldstein, we'll never hear the end of it. Never.
Well, you just buy everybody a pint.
Oh yeah, a likely story. 179 Nebrida plays 252 Smith after 9 darts apiece.
So a little bit of an opening here for Smith. He's back on 252. Nebrida will be back at 120. He needs to, well, find at least a 2-treble visit here.
Well, Smith right in the middle of big 20, and again, well, he'll get down to a finish, but 152 isn't the easiest.
No, big ask.
For Nebrida, it's Shanghai on the 20s, one of each, a treble, single, and a double. He gets the treble. Steps back from the oche. I don't know why players do this so often. It ruins their rhythm. Single 20. Oh, he's hit tops. So now he wants 2 10s. And he gets 2 10s. Well, so much for what I know about players breaking their rhythm by stepping back.
Well, you are right, because he wasn't going for tops, was he?
But he is 2-1 up in this first set against the number 19 seed, Ross Smith.
Well, guess what he's averaging, Gantz?
What, Nebrida?
Yeah, 86. Tournament average, 86. Seasonal average, 86. Average to beat Jim Williams, 86. Who knew 86 would be enough to be in front of Ross Smith?
There's a certain comfort in that, in knowing that he knows his level, or he's got his level, and he just relentlessly piles on through it.
Yeah, and on throw, that may well be enough. You don't know, do you?
Well, if he wins this leg against the darts, then he is a set up against the much fancied Smudger. Lovely first dart in the treble there on his latest visit. Second dart goes too far above it. He's trying to stack him because his darts, Nebrida, do land a bit like Phil Taylor's used to, in that they're almost
just below horizontal, aren't
they? Yeah, 89, 90 degrees to the floor.
Yeah.
And it allows for that, the stacking technique, as Sid Waddell famously called it with Taylor. He's made it work for him once tonight with that maximum.
We've got stack attacks still in the tournament, haven't we? Robert Owen.
Yeah.
They really are well below horizontal to the ground.
So Nebrida trying to get down to a finish from 266. He can't.
He's got to be careful here, Ross Smith, hasn't he?
Yeah, well, he's just not finding the accuracy. He's in small 20. That's a better adjustment back into the treble. Ton score, but he's not happy with it. He's 157, so he is down to a finish before Nebrida, but he's only 50 points ahead, Mace.
Yeah, he's leaving himself a little vulnerable at the moment. He just doesn't have that scoring power to put Nebrida just keeping him at arm's length. But that's only 57, so he's left 150, so Ross should be okay from here.
Treble 20, first order of business from 157. 137 left, so that can't go now. 117 left, comes down, does he? No, he stays up there to score 60, leaving himself on 97, a 2-dart finish potentially. Nebrida, if he gets 2 treble 20s, he'll want double 15 for the set. Settles himself. Only single 20s, so that chance has gone. Stays on the 20s though, another single, 110 left, and again I don't think he's budging. He hits 60, so back and forth 60s.
Going to need a treble here. If he doesn't hit the 57, which he does, 2 at tops, perfect.
He's well underneath with that first dart, so double 10. Yeah, he's got that, and it's 2-2. And he just stares and looks at the board with disdain, does Ross Smith. Eventually retrieves his darts. We're 2 apiece in the opening set, and Nebrida has the darts to win the set, and Ross Smith just asking the crowd just to give him a bit of atmosphere and give him a bit of something to fight against.
Yeah, it's a bit flat, isn't it? Because, well, this one's not really got going yet. The highlight has been the 120 checkout from Paolo Nebrida. Apart from that, it's been pretty ordinary. Nebrida's averaging 84, 86 for Ross Smith, single 20, treble 20. It's only hit 140. No, sorry, I mean 140.
Yeah.
There's only been 140, and that's to Nebrida,
who pins treble 20 with this first dart of this visit, and another one. Chance for another max here for the Philippine man. There it is. Hello. You've got a game on here, Mace.
Yes. That will hurt. Single 20, and it looks like a blocker. He's trying to work around it. Surely he's going to have to switch, and does. Gets the 97, so he's on 304. 262 Nebrida. Nebrida at Archie, and was in a strong position to win the opening set.
I wonder whether the pace at which Nebrida throws, he's not as slow as Toilo was on Saturday afternoon, not as glacial as that, but he's very methodical about how he gets from dart 1 to 3, Nebrida.
Yeah, he's sort of steady, isn't he?
Yeah, and that might affect the way Smith approaches his darts. Could be in for a maximum here. There it is. Turns and barks at the audience as he gets his second max. Oh, yeah, because suddenly he's on a finish of 1-2-4, Mason. Nebrida 1-6-4.
Yeah, 60, 54 ball. There's the 60.
Goodness me. Treble 18 for Nebrida. Oh,
shot's
single
not on.
18.
He'll stay there. Treble 18 needs double 16. Oh, interesting. And back to the treble 20. So only needs 1 treble in the first 2 darts here.
So 124, looking for treble 20 first. If he no, 104, so 54 treble 18 leaves the bull. Only hits single 18. So
doesn't like it because it's a blocker.
It is, because he wants to stay on 18.
Yeah, 86 remaining, 1 dart in hand. Could go bull. Did try the 54, and well, he's left himself a bit to do here.
Chance for the set for Paolo Nebrida. 66 required. Treble 10 for double 18. Single 10 hit, so 56 left. Looks 16 for tops. Tops it is for the set for Paolo Nebrida. Over the top by a good inch.
Relief for Smith. Treble 20, double 4, treble 12, double 16. What do you fancy? Oh, not a treble 5. 53 left, 13 and tops.
Well, unusual way to take it out, but the chance is still there, but only 1 dart at tops for Ross Smith for the set. And he's underneath. He split it. Will he be back for 2 10s? Nebrida wants tops again. After 15 darts, Smith trudges to the back of the stage. Can't look. Nebrida 3 in hand for the set, and only needs the 1 dart to take the first set on double top. His average has barely shifted 1 iota from his seasonal average, his tournament average, to tonight's average. Doesn't bother Paolo Nebrida one bit. He's 1 set to love up on the former European champion. Second set to come next on your home of darts on the radio. What will happen next? It's talkSPORT 2 of the PDC World Darts Championships.
the World Darts Championship live on talkSPORT 2 with Village Hotels. Hit the bullseye this Boxing Day at the best place to watch live sport.
In this game that you came into, where you've gone, I thought it was going to be this, but it's been completely different. What has been that moment? Because I had it in football where I thought, oh, this is going to be easy. And you go, oh, actually, it's not like that. Have you had that yet?
Just all year round, it's been tough. But when you're playing so well, you do back yourself to win most of the time. But obviously, like footballers, you have setbacks.
Yeah.
And with darts, there's just so much going on with the football as well. If you lose a game, you can always bounce back.
Sure. When you just after the Worlds, we talked about you a lot on the show, and people saying, "Oh yeah, Premier League would be different. That's it's over a period of time. There's lots of travelling. He's only a young lad, and again, you went out and smashed it. But I mean, do you get a buzz from sort of defying all that? You probably hear what the darts pundits say, but do you get a buzz by going out and doing it anyway?
That's a perfect example. Obviously, after the World Final, Matt Porter come up to me and my manager saying, do you want to play the Premier League? And I just said, at the time I said, let's do it. It may never happen again.
Yeah.
So it was straight after, and people saying, oh, he's too young, this and that. But I do remember the Premier League, I was always 4th, 5th, and then obviously won a few nightly wins and got that first position, and then I won it, and then all the doubters didn't know what to say.
You've been able to indulge some of your other sporting interests. You're a Manchester United fan, you've done stuff there, and Warrington Wolves, you're a Super League fan, so you've done a bit. You were modelling their shirts at one point, the shirt launch, weren't you?
Yeah, it was after the World Final. I've just had all these great opportunities, especially going to Carrington. That was massive. Meeting Sir Alex at one of the United Tottenham games as well. But yeah, hopefully I can do many more.
To talkSPORT 2 Sunday night at the PDC World Darts Championship. Ian Danter and Chris Mason, the Ace Mason, with you on talkSPORT 2. And Ross Smith lost the first set, the European champion, to the man from the Philippines, Paolo Nebrida, and he did not go backstage in this comfort break. Ross Smith has stayed out on the stage throughout Chris Mason to go through the motions and practice, because he was dragged down to the 3-dart average of his opponent in that first set.
Yeah, and he can do this. He can find himself getting embroiled, and he just needs to come out now on the front foot, attack. He's giving the thumbs up to friends and family, so he's obviously feeling okay. Did have a dart, of course, at tops to win that opening set. He was just underneath the double, but Nebrida's just doing what Nebrida does. His doubling's good, 75%, 3 from 4, averaging 87.
Well, he's used to winning on the Asian tour
with those kind of numbers.
Yeah, 4 or 5 wins on the Asian tour, which, as Mason and Nico have regularly said in our commentaries, is a tour that is growing and growing all the times in terms of its stature and its quality. Set 2 underway then, live on talkSPORT 2, and Ross Smith has benefited from all that practice in the break as he starts with a max.
Yeah, he's just getting himself a little bit revved up now. He understands the situation more than anybody.
Nebrida, can he follow it with a max of his own? He's 2/3 of the way there. Can he? No, not quite. 140. We've got live NFL later on this evening. Once we're done here at Ali Pali, the 49ers at the Dolphins. NFL live at the conclusion of our final match this evening.
Pretty sure if Nico wasn't up with us at 7 in the morning, he'd be listening in.
He would be, but he's still hurting after his Pittsburgh Steelers lost to the Ravens yesterday.
Yes.
Not HP.
2 single 20s from 3-6-1 for Nebrida. Picks up a ton. Down to 2-6-1. This is set 2, leg 1. Nebrida, if you're just tuning in, leads by a set to 0 against Ross Smith. He's on 2-2-8. Runs for cover. Oh dear. Small 7.
And misses out on a treble 19 as well. So while Smith has the darts, he's thrown 9 and he's down to 182. Nebrida can catch him up. 2-6-1 less this visit. Right smack bang in the middle of the treble 20 with his first dart.
Yeah, and low in the bed, which for him and his angle of entry is perfect. No shock, he's at 140, down to 121. Ross Smith in a spot of bother. 182 minus these. 20s right on the top wire of the treble. Not working off that. 2 single 20s, eventually gets the treble to leave 82.
1-2-1 for Nebrida. He's hit a 120, albeit via a slightly unconventional route. Treble 20 first up. No, 101 left, so treble 17 bull. Only 17 scored, 84 left for Paolo Nebrida. And he only hits a single 1, so he's a point away from Smith. Bull for double 16 here for Smudger.
Yeah, 25 leaves 57, 17 and tops. Hits the 25, 57 remaining. Picks off the single.
But he's well underneath tops again, almost halfway down the big 20 bed.
Treble 17 for Nebrida for a break in leg 1. Leads by a set to 0. Oh, 3. This will be tops.
Just checking with Kirk Bevins what's left. It is indeed 80. So he actually went for the treble 20 to lead double 10, but he's just laid up for tops. But Smith is waiting on 2 10s to take the first leg of the second set. On the outside, a good 2 centimetres away. Too far inside with the second dart. He's got 1 dart at double 5 and pins that. And so with an 18 dart hold, Ross Smith takes leg 1. We should say hello, incidentally, at this point. He won't be watching along with us. I can guarantee that on the YouTube channel. He'll be listening to us on talkSPORT 2. Strictly Come Dancing winner Chris McCausland is a big fan of darts on the radio. He was talking to Chris Evans on the Virgin Breakfast Show with Lee Mack.
Wow.
And they were talking about their Bad Tidings show that's on Sky this weekend. And he said how much he loves our coverage. So, Chris,
thank you very much.
If you're listening, thank you
congratulations.
so much. And yeah, big congrats. Well, he did one particular quick step to Rock and Roll All Night by Kiss, so he went right up in my estimation that evening. So many congratulations to you and Diane for your brilliant performance in the ballroom, Chris. And you're welcome to join us in the commentary box at any time if you come into Ali Pali. It'd be a delight to meet you. So, leg 2 of set 2.
This is going to be a real grind.
It feels
for Ross
like
Smith.
it, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we've completed 6 legs and it's 18 minutes old. And this will feel like hard work because there's no rhythm. He's got nothing to bounce off because Paolo is fairly stoic, isn't he? And he's very deliberate. And it's just going to feel like a real massive grind. He's down to 128. Ross Smith, a mile back on 325. He's just hit a small 1. He's got no rhythm at all to his game.
You're dead right in what you say. 18 minutes gone. Ryan Serland won his game 3 sets to zip by this point.
Yep.
This afternoon he was on first.
He was already in the car on the way home.
Yeah, he'd be back in Devon by now. I'm sure Matt Campbell was seen off. In fact, Ryan told me that they were backstage out in the second comfort break, and Matt Campbell said, "Oh well, 3 more legs to go. Then is it?" He kind of knew that the writing was on the wall.
But he wasn't wrong.
He was not. Nebrida's down to double 16 to level things up. It is on his throw, this leg.
Yeah,
so
strong leg though, Dance. He's left double 16 after just 12 darts. But even still, Ross has thrown 12 and wants 238.
Oh, that's a lovely... It is right next to the double 8 bed, but listen, they all count. Paolo and Nebrida's levelled it up at 1 apiece. And Ross Smith just can't get motoring here. Maybe, there I was, questioning his occasional yelps and getting too much energy out there. Maybe he needs to get a bit angry with himself and get yelping. It might help him along a little bit.
Sometimes, though, sometimes you need a good dance partner, speaking of Strictly. And he just doesn't have one.
See, we just don't just throw this show together. 137 Nebrida. A decent start. Again, he's ahead against the throw, but Smith, on his second visit, finds the treble 20, but can't follow it up with the second dart. Good recovery for a ton 40 from Smudger.
But he's had nearly twice as many trebleless visits as Nebrida, and you'd expect that to be the other way around.
Well, Nebrida had 29 trebleless visits in his win over Jim Williams.
That's a lot.
But only 7 so far, and there's another visit with a treble. Steady ton for Nebrida. 264 plays 303 after 6 darts apiece. Fans are doing the Touré dance.
Oh, that's a great visit. Started on the 19s, picked off the single, and then 2 treble 20s to leave 164. So he's got control back of the leg. He's on 164, Nebrida 264, so he has to be careful here. And he's found a treble 20.
Can he get down to a finish? Sure can. Matching Smith, actually. 2 164 attempts coming up, maybe just one if Smudger gets it right. Well, he can't because he hit single 20. Now he hits a treble and stays there for a 140. Makes like that double 12 left if Nebrida can't take out the 164 himself.
2 treble 19s. Oh, it's a 7, so cancel that.
Nebrida going back to the 20s, but only scoring 2 singles, so plenty of time, it would seem, for Ross Smith to go 2-1 up inside double 12. So across the double 6 at 3 o'clock on the board. Wires it on the outside. It's a great marker. And the next hot lands right next to it outside the bed as well.
How that's not gone in, I do not know.
Smith had eyes like dinner plates as he saw that one stay outside. He couldn't believe it hadn't gone in.
117 for Nebrida. Oh dear, can't finish. Treble 5, but leaves 102. Can't be done in 2. So Smith will be breathing a sigh of relief. He's already seen his opponent take 120 out, and he's 4 out of 5 on his doubles, Nebrida. It's up at 80%.
Wow. So this has got to go, you would sense. Double 6 for Smith. Inside, down to the very bottom of the board. Tricky old double 3. And it's a real blocker, that second dart. But he's got past it and won the leg. And he's really struggling here, Ross Smith.
This he would not be enjoying this at all.
So 2-1 in legs to Ross Smith with the darts in set number 2. Paolo Nebrida of the Philippines won the first set by 3 legs to 2. But he starts.
I played a guy called Matt Clark in the embassy many moons ago, and he was a similar kind of player. He's a real grinder, and just couldn't shake him off. And we went the distance, went a whole 5 sets, and it felt like I've been up there for 15 sets, not 5.
So it does drain you.
It does. Because, listen, he'll be aware of his opponent. Ross will have a read on where his level's at, but when you've got no rhythm and no tempo, you can't reach the heights. And he was saying to himself, "Come on, man, let's go. Let's find some big 2-3 treble visits," and they're just not there.
Well, that's like older Richard Veenstra watching Alexis Toilo take 16 practice throws before.
Yep, same thing.
Settling on the off
It just grinds you to a standstill.
3-1-5 plays 3-4-8 in this 4th leg. Steady ton for Nebrida, trying to stay in this set. He needs to hold to take us to another decider. Treble 19 pick off, very nice from Ross Smith. Not once, but twice.
Well, Ross Smith was 10-1 on to in this game.
Well, there was a 10-1 on favourite that got knocked out, wasn't there? Trying to think who that was. I'm going to look back through the results and see who that was in my mind. It must have been Lock-in Lee against Chris Landman.
Yes, he
must have been.
He was short. I'm not sure he was that short, but he was a massive favourite, Chris Landman.
Well, Ross Smith, 2-1-4 less this visit, and another brilliant couple of treble 19s picked off by Smudger. But Nebrida, to stay in the set, wants 116.
Yes, and this is to hold throw. Oh, he's found the treble 20, single 16. Tops he needs, bang in the middle of the 16.
For 2-2 in set 2, there it is. A ton plus checkout, a second one for Paolo Nebrida. Took out 120 in the first set, 116 in the second, and he pulls a face as he goes back to his table as to say, I'm in this. Deciding leg, set 2.
He's very much in it. And when you look at the set averages, not the match averages, in terms of the match average, he's averaging 92 to Ross's 88. The set average, he's averaging 98.76 to Ross Smith's 86.95.
Well, now then.
85.
Just 85 for Nebrida. Smith's got a good advantage early on in this deciding leg of set number 2. Only 29% on his doubles.
He needs to keep hold of that advantage. He wants to give himself a bit of breathing space so the pressure's off to level things up, because if he goes 2-0 down, you begin to fear the worst.
Nebrida from 4-1-6, smack bang in the middle of the red bit. Puts another one next door to it. Can he make it 3 for a max? Oh, yes, he can. He is being inspired by being back on that Ali Pali stage.
He's playing lovely, averaging 101.5 now in the set. Down to 236. Smith at the hockey from 261. Only 2 single 20s so far. Does pick off a ton. Nebrida can find a 140 or a 180 here. He's a huge favourite for the set.
Not betraying too many emotions when he's throwing Paolo Nebrida. Single 20, which is a bit of a blocker above that treble 20 bed. Has a quick glance at the scorecard. He needs 196. Can he get down to a finish? He's looking downstairs, or is it? Yeah, treble 18.
Good
Lovely
switch.
pick off.
Yeah, leaves 142, 142, 161 for Smith. Single 20. So Nebrida, we'll have a look at the 142. 2 single 20. Smith should be going bull here to leave a 2-dart possibility. Oh, and he finds the ball. Beautiful.
It's a nice start from Smith. 71 left for him. Double that for Paolo Nebrida. Treble 20, bull double 16 is the traditional outshot. Only hits a single 20, so it can't go. 122 left. Stays with the 20s. 62 left. Treble 10 for double 16. Only hit single 10, but it's nicely placed.
It was close. Treble 13 for double 16 for Ross. Or treble 17, double 10.
That's what he's done. Well, half of it on the wire at double 10. And double trouble continues to plague Ross Smith. A chance for Nebrida to go 2-0 up. With Smith waiting on 20, 52 required for the man from the Philippines. 12 hit, 2 darts at tops, Mace.
This would be remarkable. And he's found it. It is Nebrida that goes 2 up with a 14-dart break of throw in leg 5.
He has hit 6 darts out of 7 attempted at doubles. That is why Ross Smith, the number 19 seed, is on the verge of crashing out of these championships against the steady as you go Paolo Nebrida, who has just hit an average a good 14 points ahead of his seasonal average of 100 in that set. Can he see it out? Stay with us to find out on your home of darts on the radio, talkSPORT 2.
The World Darts Championship live on talkSPORT 2 with Village Hotels. Hit the bullseye this Boxing Day.
Ali Pally. But there was last night. There was I think the referee had to step in and tell some of the punters in the crowd to stop whistling. There's been a few incidents.
In what game was that? I didn't watch.
I think it was in the final. There was a bit of whistling going on when Luke Humphries went up to throw because they were all quite little heavy yesterday.
You don't want that.
Yeah. It's a bit of a little hype at the moment. Every question they ask me about Luke. So which Luke? Humphries or Luke Woodhouse or Luke?
Yeah.
But there's also a lot of respect as well, right? That people in the audience have to understand.
Yeah.
These guys are still professional, still trying to do their job. We're all out having a good time, but
if you look purely to Luke Humphries, his results in the last 18 months been incredible. His record's been absolutely phenomenal, but no one talks. Yeah, of course, people talk about it not as much as they should do.
Yes.
Because look, there's another massive project on the darts who does well as well, and people talk about that because he's young. He's only 17 years old, so yeah, we're going to see.
The bookies, you're still well up with the bookies as I look at the odds here, Michael. Although it might. They've got you as fourth favourite at the moment.
Who's third?
Well, they've got Gary Anderson.
Okay.
So 12-1.
I must say, this is my first time ever meeting this man in person. He's a man after my own heart. He's straight out.
So you're on good form there.
Yeah, I understand because Littler and the Lukes, they both did well. I understand that. I don't really get the third one. They might hate that money.
And then there's quite a big drop-off after you to Mike De Decker, the Belgian. He's down at 25-1. And
is he fifth?
He's fifth, yeah.
I don't get that one either.
Michael Smith sixth.
Michael Smith sixth, same as De Decker, same odds.
I know where my money's going after this.
Yeah, well,
you're going to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm sticking 100 on the big fella.
I'm not allowed to say anything, but it's a big price. It's never going to be bigger than that.
Thanks to talkSPORT and Trailfinders, the UK's leading independent tour operator.
The 2025 PDC Darts World Championship.
Live on talkSPORT 2.
You're listening to coverage of the PDC World Darts Championship on talkSPORT 2 with Village Hotels. Dine out, stay, work out and play this festive season at one of 33 cracking UK locations. Hello, if you're just tuning in, wherever and however you're listening to talkSPORT 2 or watching our talkSPORT Darts YouTube channel for the watch-along. My name's Ian Danter, Chris Mason, the Ace Mason, former PDC professional, alongside me. And we're both scratching our heads at this. And you can bet your bottom dollar that Ross Smith is scratching his head at this too, because the world 19 seed is 2-0 down against Paolo Nebrida, the Asian qualifier from the Philippines, who had never got to the second round before this year. 2 previous visits, knocked out in round 1. Now he's in the rarefied atmosphere of round 2. He is grinding his way to victory, Mace.
Yeah, he's a set away from round 3. Ross has had 1 dart in set 1, leg 5, to win the set at tops off of 68, and there off of 71. He hit the treble 17, and put 2 literally on the wire, a double 10. It's just not going for him, but credit to Nebrida. His winning legs in that set dance was 13 darts, 15 darts with a 116 out, and 14 darts with the 52 out. His finishing is special, 6 out of 7, 86%. His match average is 93.5. So we said at the top of the show, for him to be competitive, he needed to put 7 or 8 points on his average, and he has.
Well, he does have a high average on the Asian Tour this year of 105. So he's capable of really hitting the heights, but that is over short course distances.
It's not under the lights playing a Ross Smith.
It's actually over probably the distance we've played now, 10 legs, I would say.
If that.
We're into the 11th leg, but it's set play here, so we are into the 3rd set. And Nebrida, remember, has the dart, and even if he doesn't convert in this set, and Smith wins it back and wins the 4th, Nebrida will still have the throw in the 5th and deciding set, although we do have the provision for extra legs. If it's 2-2 in the deciding set, you would have to be 2 legs clear in the deciding set unless we get to 5-all, then we get a sudden death leg.
Well remembered, that. and breathe. Steady ton for Nebrida. Down to 3-4-1. Smith threatening to break throw in leg 1 of set 3. But it's a 20 and then a wild 7.
46.
Just 46.
Not quite a bag of nails, but
not a mile off. It
Nebrida,
felt like it to him.
It would have most definitely felt like it to him. Nebrida, 2 small 20s. That tricep muscle starting to tighten a little bit. And treble 1 as he tries to readjust and go higher up the board. He's had a comfort break to think about the fact that he's 2 sets to 0 up. I wouldn't blame Nebrida if he was suddenly getting the collie wobbles a little bit in the stomach.
Yeah, absolutely. This is huge. He's making history.
Smith down to 181 after 9 darts. Nebrida over 100 points behind him, so definitely behind the 8 ball at the start of this set, and his consistency has definitely gone
45.
at the start of this set. He'd have wanted to stay up there.
Absolutely. Not at that time to think about what he was doing. Smith's in the red bit twice, 61 left. Well, he's got options here. Treble 7, 25, treble 15. Treble 15 is the choice. Beautiful. 165. Leaves double 8.
Beautifully done. It's the problem with these comfort breaks because you only have, as a darts player, your own company during those 2 or 3 minutes.
It's quite strange that this rule hasn't been changed. You're not allowed to talk to anybody apart from tournament director or the referee if he sees fit to talk to you about any kind of on-stage issues.
Double 4 for Smith. Can he get a double right here? No, it still eludes him.
I can't think of any other sport that's the case.
No, that's true. I don't know about snooker.
Oh, no, you're allowed to have your, they usually have a break after 4 frames or so. They go back to their green room with their management or
Nebrida
coach.
wants 118. He's hit treble 20, 18, leaves tops again. He's been brilliant on doubles so far tonight, and he's hit tops already with 1 dart, and he's done it again. Paolo Nebrida goes 1-0 up in the 3rd set, nailing his 3rd ton plus checkout. What is going on here?
And he's not shocked. He's cool as a cucumber.
He was second favourite in that leg.
He was all the way through it.
96.
But you look at Smith's stats, he's had 19 goes at a double and only hit 4. That's 21% checkout rate. That is half of what it should be.
Yeah, and Nebrida's only had 8 opportunities but found 7. They've both had 3-180s, they both had 5-140s.
If ever again...
Scores between a ton and 139s, 15-13 in favour of Smith, but he's 2 sets down and a leg down.
If ever the phrase trebles for show, doubles for dough had extra significance, it's right now. Smith, that's another poor visit. He's down to 3-5-4
on his throw.
Nebrida is going to go past him with 2 darts in hand. Oh, not another maximum. He's 2/3 of the way there. He's hit 3 tonight. Make it 4. Reveling in what he's doing up there, Paolo Nebrida, and Smith needs to respond quickly.
All right, he's trying. Single 20, treble 20, just a ton. 2-5-4 Smith on his throw. Nebrida 2-2-1, and let's not forget, he will have the darts in the next leg to win it if he can get over the line here from 2-2-1, but it's a single 1. The first nervy dart he's thrown, really.
That was well below. What a recovery into treble 20, so he's down to a finish no matter what. Well, unless he completely fluffs this final dart. No, 81, so he's down to 140. Just has a look at his fingers and probably going to head to his towel on his table.
Yeah, maybe a bit of sweat. It is. It's actually quite mild in London this evening. And it has been a double session, so it keeps the
heat stays in, even when they open the doors and let people out from the afternoon session. Baby, it's cold outside. 140 left for Nebrida. Only a single 20 and a single 5, so 115.
Yeah, if you're not going to take it out, you just want to stay straight and nick a ton to leave tops, but he's really made a bit of a pig's ear of that one. Still wants 110. Ross Smith, for me, favourite for the leg on 154. Doesn't find the treble 20 he needed. or with dart 2, they're buckling the wire of the treble 20, only 60. It's just not happening for him.
And he just shuffles toward the board disconsolately to pick his darts out. So Nebrida, 110 or 109 left, it won't go now. Even though he's hit treble 20 with his second dart, all he can do is lay up for a double.
78.
Hits the 78 to leave him on double 16.
Ball from Smith leaves 44 off 94, double 16. This is a huge moment. Oh. I mean, he literally is on the wire of everything, isn't he?
Yeah, he has been so close with everything he's aimed at, but it's not happening. Double 16 is missed by Nebrida with his first dart, but it's a good marker, and the second dart goes in, and he is 2-0 up in sets, and now 2-0 up in legs, and he has the dart to win the whole shooting match in this leg.
Yeah, and win it by 3 sets to 0. Wouldn't even know what the odds would have been on that, but
paging Lee Phelps from William Hill.
Yeah, he was
paging Lee Phelps from William Hill.
He was 6-1 just to win the match, Nebrida. To win it 3-0, I should imagine it'd been 33-1 or something, even bigger probably.
Well, this is going to take the comeback of all comebacks. 45. You can't be in a worse position than this in a 5-set match, to be 2 sets down and 2 legs down, and having had your own throw broken. Smith hits a maximum but doesn't celebrate it. Just trudges toward the board and retrieves the darts.
As I always say, when a player's in this position, they sort of go into free roll mode. You usually see the best of them, but he's in a big hole here. Even if he wins this leg, he's got to win the next leg and then win the next leg, and that's not happened in any one of these sets because Paolo's won at least 2 legs in every set we've played.
He's won twice as many legs as his opponent, 8-4 in this encounter.
But he's in trouble here. Even if this was the match play in a race to 10, he'd be in a world of trouble.
Yeah. 280 left for Smith. He's thrown 6 darts, so has Nebrida. He's way back on 370. Trying to find a treble.
Well, I'm amazed he's not switched there, because that doesn't look particularly inviting, but he's somehow managed to squeeze a dart into the red bit for a ton. 270 Nebrida. Ross Smith 280 minus these. Ross Smith trails 2 sets to 0 and 2 legs to 0 in the 3rd set in a race to 3 sets.
There is almost a stunned silence from the 3,000 inside the Ali Pali. They're just contemplating what's happening here. The European champion from just over 2 years ago is in so much trouble here, so much trouble. Nebrida from 270 comes down for the 19th and can't pick off a treble, so he's way off the finish, but so is Smith. 220 plays 226.
And that's another low dart from Smith that he's trying to work around. 40 scored. Yeah, he wants to stay there because the 160 is a better finish. That's a super dart. Down to 120. Now Nebrida here, a 140 or 180. Maybe enough just to keep Smith firmly on the ropes. Single 20 is just high.
Can he readjust? Goes too low.
Needs to switch.
He's not switching. And he only hit 60, so he can't get a finish. Well, you talk about it, the counting. Shanghai on the 20s for Ross Smith. He's hit the single, he's hit the treble. Now he wants double top. Can he get a double for the first time in yonks? No, it's over the top, but he's safe because Nebrida couldn't get down to a finish on that last visit.
Yeah, should have been down at the 19s with his last start. He'd be fuming here if he hits 2 treble 20s. Could have left himself 170 had he hit a 16, and he'd have now needed the ball for the match. And he's missed the big number to leave 35. May not matter.
Oh, tops, he's well underneath. Double 10, and he's pinned double 10 Ross Smith for a stay of execution. Is this where the comeback starts for Smudger? Because he's broken back in leg 3. Now a chance to level things up in the 3rd set. But remember, Ross Smith, the number 19 seed, is 2-0 down here against the Asian qualifier Paolo Nebrida from the Philippines.
Well, I don't like to use the word luck in darts. I prefer the use of the word fortunate. And well, Nebrida very fortunate that Jim Williams was completely out of sorts in their match. It's happening again here. I don't recall Ross Smith playing this poorly for quite some time.
It's just not happening for Smudger, but he can still extricate himself from this mess. And he's looking for a maximum. From 401, the third dart just deflects away into small 20.
Ton 140 down to 261. Nebrida 442 after a 59 start. You are just joining us. Nebrida is 2 sets to the good. And 2-1 up in set 3. Cullen Rid's a comfortable winner in our opening match tonight against Martin Schindler. He won 3 sets to 0. Fancy this one being 3-0.
Cullen
Ridge, not to Nebrida.
Cullen Ridge was the player that Nebrida went out to when we first got to know him. He qualified for the World Youth Championship in 2018, and Ridge knocked him out just before the quarterfinals of that Youth Championship, which is now nearly 7 years ago.
Good knowledge, James, good knowledge.
Ridge won comfortably tonight against Martin Schindler. No one expected Schindler to be swept aside that easily, but Ridge carrying on his good form from round 1. We've got Gary Anderson to come next against Jeffrey de Graaf, who represents Sweden now, and then Dimitri van den Berg against Dylan Slevin, the young Irishman, to round off the night here on talkSPORT 2.
Super leg here from Ross Smith on throw. Left 36 after 12. Nebrida back on 242 minus these. He's 80 points with 2 darts. Oh, finds a beautiful 140, but maybe too late.
Double 18 for Ross Smith. For 2-2. Inside it. Across for double 9. Pins that nicely enough. And still nothing in terms of self-congratulation or emotion from Ross Smith. Just walks to the board, retrieves the 2 darts that were in there. But Nebrida has the darts in this deciding leg of set 3. If he wins it, Smith is heading back to Kent, and he won't be back after Christmas.
Don't forget, if you want to contact us, oh, look out, 2 treble 20s. Can he find a max when he really needs one? He'll take a 140. Yeah, if you want to contact us, direct into the commentary box for any of our team here. Hashtag darts on the radio. And any questions or comments or any good ones we'll read out.
Yeah, be nice.
Yeah,
we're nice.
We are nice.
3-6-1 for Nebrida then. He's 40 points ahead in this crucial deciding leg of set 3, which could see the man from the Philippines go through to round 3. Remember, he'd never been past round 1 before tonight. Just can't quite get the adjustment to find a ton.
Only 60. Gives Smith some hope. He's low. He's going to have to run for cover. It's a good 2 inches below the treble 20. He's over the top of the treble 19, and just not happening. What a chance this is for Nebrida. He's 42 points in front on 301 and has the darts here. 2 treble visit. 140 to take him to 161, and there's nothing Smith can do from 343 to leave a finish. That's unlucky. There's 2 on the top wire. So he doesn't switch very often, but when he does, he's effective.
Yeah, he's just picked off treble 19 really smartly there, Paolo Nebrida. So 204 left for him. Smith needs a treble. He's got one on second dart. Can he get a 140 here? Yes, he can. That's big. That gets him level. In fact, 1 point ahead of Nebrida after 9 darts apiece. This is a real nip and tuck leg. Nebrida's first dart on this visit, just below the red bit. Can he use it as a platform on which to build? No, he's gone too high.
Just starting to force things now, isn't he?
But
that's a great ton.
Squeezes that dart in between the first 2 for a ton.
The first 2 darts look really edgy. Here comes Smudger, treble 20 from 203. Doesn't follow. Only a ton.
So they've both got finishes of just over a ton. This is for the match, though.
And he's already had 3 ton pluses out. He's had a 120, a 118 and a 116. He adds a 104 to that roster. He's through. 3 sets to 0.
Only need one treble in this combination. In fact, with 84 left, stayed on the 20s, 64 left. Smith knows he's got a chance. He's looking at the floor rather than looking at the hockey, looking at the board. 56 scored Nebrida to save the match. Ross Smith wants 103.
And looking at Nebrida's finishing, he can't afford to give him a go. So another dart for another set. He's had a dart to win every set so far.
And he's missed double 16 way inside, Mace. 2 centimetres inside.
Yeah, that was an edgy dart, wasn't it? So 8 or a 16, big target.
16 for double 16. 2 darts in hand for the match for Paolo Nebrida. He's got it! A 3-0 victory! Paolo Nebrida has knocked out the former European champion and marched through to round 3 of the PDC World Championships for the first time in his career. An average of 91 on the night, 4 maximums, but a quite brilliant doubles percentage. He hit 9 of 11 attempts at double. That is astonishing double hitting, and Smith, out of sorts, could not cope.
Yeah, biggest shock of the tournament, that for me. I thought we were going to see Ross Smith through quite comfortably in this one, and it was just a match that he just couldn't build up a head of steam. 9 from 11 on the doubles for Nebrida, pretty much immaculate throughout. Matched Smith in the 180 column, matched Smith in the 140 column, and well, when it's all said and done, he deserved to win it.
So Paolo Nebrida through to round 3, and he will face the winner of the next match on stage here at Alexandra Palace. Paul Nicholson and Mark Wilson will rejoin you shortly here on your home of darts on the radio talkSPORT 2. We'll get our first look. He's number 14 seed, but there is no doubt that Gary Anderson is one of the pre-tournament favourites on form. He takes on the Swede Jeffrey de Graaf next in the PDC World Darts Championship. But the story of the night so far, Paolo Nebrida of the Philippines knocks out Ross Smith by 3-0.
The World Darts Championship live on talkSPORT.